Now this is a recipe that comes from the Piemonte, the region of the Piedmont in northwestern Italy. And here's how it goes together. You want to start out with some rosemary, some fresh rosemary, and here we just have fresh rosemary on the stem, and it's very easy to get off if you just push it. So you want some fresh rosemary. And then we want a couple cloves of garlic, make a little pile right there. Some pepper, a little black pepper, and some salt. And that's all there is to the rub. And then you just want to mince that up really well because you're going to put this all over the roast. I'm going to take this and just rub it all over the meat. You really want to get it on both sides. And the trick to having a really good brassato is not only to use the right wine, but also to take time, patience, when you're browning this, because this takes about 5 or 10 minutes to really brown it well. So I've got the pan preheated, and that's important because you don't want the meat to stick. And now I'm going to lift that up and put it right in there and let it go. So this is actually the insert to my slow cooker. So I'm going to let that go until it's nicely browned on one side. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do the other side. And you're going to have to use a couple tools to turn it around. And I've got limited space in this pot, so it is difficult to turn. But you see what I mean? It's nicely browned on that one side. So I can turn it over, and you've got to get the ends as well. So you've got to get both sides, both ends. All right, while that's browning, I'm going to talk to you about the wine that we're going to use. I said this was a brassato, didn't I? Al Barolo. So we're using a Barolo wine. But if you did not want to use a Barolo, you could just use a red wine that you like to drink. That's about a cup. And now I'm going to turn this off, or turn it down lower rather, excuse me. I'm going to turn that down lower and just let that cook for a few minutes. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to put it in the base of the slow cooker because I'm going to have to add wine later on, but now we're going to get it started. So in it goes. Put the cover on. And I'm going to cook this at a really low heat. If you're doing this in the oven, you want this at about 250, 300 degrees. That's it. And this is probably going to take about 5 hours in my slow cooker to cook. In the oven, the temperature may vary, or the time may vary. You'll need to use an instant read thermometer by putting it in the center of the meat. When it registers 155, 160, it's done. So here we have some tomato paste, and I'm going to add another cup of Barolo wine to this and just whisk this around, get that smooth. And in about an hour and a half, I'm going to add this to the roast in the pan. I'm going to give that just a little bit more wine because you can never have enough Barolo. So in an hour or so, I'm going to add the rest of this to the meat. I want to show you what that looks like. Remember, we added wine and tomato paste to that, and so that created a beautiful sauce. Let me bring it over for you so you can take a gander. Sit it right there and get it out of the pan, because now what we have to do is take off those strings. So you put it onto a cutting board. So once you get all those strings off, you want to discard them. Make sure you're using kitchen string. Put that aside. And there is our beautiful roast. And then you can just carve yourself a few beautiful pieces.